Now I'm gonna prepare the onions. I'll chop it up, peel it, chop it into pieces, and get ready for the ingredients with the chicken. Just have to peel the onions. I like to use one onion at least, depending how you want it. Some people don't like too much onions, but I love the onions. It's good for you. Has a lot of good health benefit to it. I'll wash it a little bit. I want to chop it in small pieces. Crush it a little bit just like this, and just be patient. And sometimes it's kind of too strong, it make you tears. But that's okay. It's called the tears of love for cooking. There we go. Just crush up in small pieces. Next, I'm going to prepare the chicken party wings. Here's the party wings. I like to wash it several times with cold water. And there we have it, the chicken wings. To me, it's a little bit too much. Normally, I just use half of this. So you're gonna have one pot. You could have at least between 4 to 5 days of meal. I would cut this in half normally, but if sometimes people love to have more chicken in it. You could do that. Sometimes, majority of the time, I just use half the pouch. I just use the chicken wing for flavoring. In this case, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the rest of up. I'll take some out. And I'll use this much chicken. The rest here I'll freeze it and use it for next time. Next, I'm gonna wash the half a cup of rice. This much rice. I'm gonna go wash it first and then dump it with the chicken. Next, I'm going to add this onions with the chicken. And there's no need to add any oil on this. You just add a little bit of water and kind of cook it for a little bit. Now I put it in the stove. I put it up on medium high. I'll add a little bit of water. I don't add the oil because the chicken wings itself has have enough oil in it. So I just put a little bit of water, just kind of to cook the onions. Let's cook it for a while. About 3 to 4 minutes. Stir it occasionally. Make sure it doesn't burn. So you look at the content. In this pot, I have about six pieces of chicken party wings. 6 pieces of party wings. Okay, once it's about cooked for about 5 to 8 minutes, 10 minutes, make sure that the onions is not burnt. So just kind of stir it occasionally. Look at it. Once it's about 8, 10 minutes. Now, I would add my crushed garlic. I put about a couple of spoons in it. I love garlic, so I put a couple of spoons. Some people like to put more or less. Then, I would add my California garlic powder from Costco. I put about, I would say 1, 2, about 2. Okay, next I would add my ginger powder. I just put a little bit of that, not much, very little, but this much. Or you can add a little more. Let's stop with a little more, right there. 2 of those little small. Next, I would add my turmeric powder. About half a spoon. Those are the first four ingredients that I would put. Now I would add some water. At this point in time, I had enough water there. Okay, once they start to cook, it might be too thick. You could add more water. It depends how thick you want your porridge to be. In this case, I had about this much. I kind of like it in a light to medium thickness. But when it's finished, when it's boiling already, you can see the rice cooking. And if it's thick, too thick, you could add more water to it. I would add the Himalayan salt and the red crushed chili and the pepper a bit later. Now, while I'm putting it on high, I would add the washed half a cup or less of long grain white rice. This had been washed already, and now I'm going to dump it in there. I just added a little water there to get all the uncooked rice drained from the bowl. There you go. Now it's in high temperature. Just let it boil with the top open. You could also add the bay leaf now. These are the bay leaf. You could have about maybe about 6 or 8 or 10 bay leaf in there. Just throw it in there, like so, and just let it boil. Once in a while, you might want to stir it. It's been cooking now for about 8 minutes or so, and it hasn't come to a boil yet. So wait for it to boil. It's now boiling a little bit, so you may want to stir just a bit. Just let it boil some more. We've gone about 10 minutes so far of cooking on a high temperature, medium high, more on the high side. Just kind of watch it boiling. It's boiling right now. So once in a while you want to stir it just a bit. Optional to this lugaw, you could also add potatoes in it. Chopped up potatoes, you could add in there. Okay, you could also add green onions if you want to down the line, or garnish it with green onions or cilantro. Oh, by the way, if you have cilantro or sofrito, they call that in Spanish or Puerto Rican. Sofrito, you could add that there. I make my own sofrito. Sofrito basically is green pepper, green onions, fresh onion, and fresh garlic, and you just blend it all together, and you can put it in your Frigidaire. It lasts for at least a month, 2 months or so, and you could add it with your soup, with your spaghetti. It's really, really good for you. A lot of antioxidants, a lot of herbal health benefit to it. You could add here as well, but I think I don't have one right now. I don't have a mixture right now. Normally I make my own. I don't like to buy it. I like to make it fresh. You could always, once you make your sofrito out of bell pepper, cilantro, a lot of cilantro, fresh garlic, fresh onions, and fresh green onions, you could freeze portions of it. So you could put it in small little plastic bag and freeze it, label it, and freeze it. So use it as you need it, and it'll last you for a long time. Now it's boiling, so I'll turn it down just a little bit to about medium, and then stir it, and just keep boiling it. Lugaw tastes really good because when you cook it now, and the next day appears to be next day's couple of days, it really tastes better, even better. So once you cook it, if you have leftover, you could put it in a small pot like this or container and cook it per serving. You just put it in a small bowl, saute bowl to cook your own meal for one meal. You could eat that with salad, or even a little bit of salad, or maybe a sandwich, tuna sandwich, or a chicken sandwich. This is an excellent meal for wintertime especially. A lot of benefits in it because you know what? You're not frying it. You're using whatever ingredients you have in there, and you control the salt. You control the ingredients. The ingredients I put in there basically is to your taste. You could put as much. I like to put a lot of garlic in there. I like to put a lot of onions, and you could even add. You could add dried mushroom, put in there, or fresh mushroom even if you want to. You could be creative, but this is kind of the basic, and you could build on it. It's still boiling, so I'm going to stir it just a little bit. Once it's boiling like this, now you could add your Himalayan salt. I just put enough to my taste. I don't want to make it too salty. I just make it salty enough and let people add their own salt if they want more. I just put maybe like this much salt in there, right there. About half a spoon. I'll stir it and I'll taste it. A little bit while later, I'll taste it, okay? I just let it boil a little longer. And my wife likes it spicy, so I would add a little bit. Just add a little bit, okay? Because this red chili gets pretty spicy. So just add a little bit of this crushed red chili, organic from Costco. And people could add their own chili later on. They want more spice into their lugaw. Now I'm gonna taste how salty it is, or if it needs more salt or not. It needs a little bit more salt. It's my spoon mix. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more salt into it. I just added a little more salt, and I'm going to stir it. Now I have my spoon again. I'm going to taste it. Make sure you don't double dip now. Make sure you wash your spoon or get a new clean spoon before you taste the second time. That buzzer there is my buzzer. It's been cooking about 18 minutes right now. Almost there. Just a dash of salt. Just a dash. Done. I think it's already perfect right there. Again, this black pepper is optional. I don't like to put it because sometimes my wife or some people gets an upset stomach with this. So you could put just a little bit, one dash. That's it. Very little. You hardly notice it. And then now I will turn it down to low medium. And there it is. And my spoon, I'm gonna go wash it and then taste it again. Here's my clean spoon. It's great. I love it. The saltiness is perfect for me, but make it less salt if you want to, and let people add their own salt for people who's got high blood pressure. And there it is, the Filipino lugaw, poor man's meal. You could buy the big pouch. You could buy the organic chicken wings, party wings in Costco. There are 3 packages. You could make each package. You make 2 lugaw pot like this bowl. So it's an excellent source of a quick meal, reasonable, and it's healthier for you. And you could add things to this. You could add potatoes if you want, mushroom. Okay, so that's what people do. They add stuff in there. So okay, and it's an excellent meal. You have that with in a half a sandwich or a full sandwich of tuna sandwich or chicken sandwich. An excellent meal. And this is better than frying because it's liquid. You got the liquid in there. Helps you a lot of garlic and onions. And the one thing I'm missing here is the sofrito. The sofrito will bring this taste of lugaw a couple notch higher. So if you have a sofrito, you could add it. It's an excellent flavoring and also a lot of herbal antioxidants in it. In my refrigerator, I found a bunch of cilantro. So since I don't have sofrito, I just take this bunch of cilantro and chop it in small pieces and dump it in there. And at the end, you could also use this as a garnish, and green onions, and this as a garnish when you put it in your bowl. Okay, here we are. I chopped up cilantro. Man, I put it there. It's going to be healthy. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that terrific? Ugh. Okay. You notice some of the water I've already evaporated from the boiling. I would not add water right now because I'm going to see how thick it is. See how the rice are cooking right now? And if it's a little bit too thick for you, you could do it. Depends how you want it. I'll probably add a little bit of water towards the end because it's I just want it more soupy than thickness like this. But you can make it like this if you want. And when for the next day, it'll probably get a bit more thicker. You can add a little bit of water and just add some salt to it, and you got another great meal for the next day. See how it is right there? Wow, look at that. Great. Great meal. Look at that. Just turn it up a little more. And it's about a medium right now. Low medium. Okay, we are still boiling. I'm just going to add just a little bit of water. Just because I don't want it too thick. Just a little bit. Maybe like about a third glass. About this much water. About this much. A third of this glass. Right there. See how it's getting thicker and thicker now? So, next day, after your first meal of this, It gets thicker. Add more water to it and salt, and you have a meal next day or next meal, depending how many people are eating. Look at that, delicious. Look at that. Like I said, you could add small potatoes here. You can buy those small potatoes from Costco. You know, put it in here with the rice, and man, you got a great meal, complete meal. Like I say, with a sandwich or a bowl of salad, you have a complete healthy meal. Still cooking a bit here on a low medium heat. I'll just cook it for a little longer, and maybe another 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll turn it off and put the cover back on there and just get ready for the meal. You can eat it now or you can eat it later. If you're gonna eat it later, maybe you want to put like really, really low, all the way down to very low, to keep it hot, keep it warm for your next meal, or just turn it off and then just reheat it in a small pot like this, the one you're gonna eat. You know, depending how many people you're gonna eat. Put in this, transfer this here, what you're gonna eat for today, and you have a great meal. The rest of this, you could put it on a small bowl and put it in the refrigerator, and you have a great meal for at least 3 or 4 days. That's it for now. Enjoy your meal.